Hey y'all, 5 minute movie review time. Kind of crazy, I've done this for like 3 whole days. Once again, I have no actual talent in reviewing movies. This is entirely based on what I happen to watch and what I actually thought about it. So, this was bound to happen. The movie I actually selected was Klute, Klute, 1971 film, a acclaimed thriller by the same director as All the King's Men, and who. All the King's Men? I think it was All the King's Men. Anyway, starring Donald Sutherland, Jane Fonda, and Roy Scheider. Very high Metacritic rating, very high Rotten Tomatoes rating. My challenge is, and this is a great thing about being a complete and total amateur, is I can let my biases kind of fall into things. And one of my big biases, I really, really, really dislike Jane Fonda. Just never really cared for her from an acting perspective. I mean, I think the first movie I probably saw her in was on Golden Pond. And I didn't even really like her in Barbarella, which, under most normal circumstances, I mean, you're talking to someone who actually kind of appreciated Zardoz. But I did watch it, though, because it also had cast Roy Scheider and an actor that I really, truly treasure, which is Donald Sutherland. I love Donald Sutherland. The guy, his voice is like butter. I thought that would outweigh my lack of appreciation for Jane Fonda. I held on as long as I could. It was, for me, it was slow paced. For me, it wasn't overly engaging. Again, I have no problem with it being an older film, and I understand pacing on older films is certainly going to be different. But there's a lot of older films that I absolutely love. This just really it lacked it lacked anything to grab, and unfortunately, where I really love Donald Sutherland, he was remarkably subdued and almost very monotone within this particular performance. Yes, he had that wonderful voice of his, but there was just a whole lot of Jane Fonda, which I'm just not fond of. Roy Scheider was on, which is nice. He was on briefly, mostly just as a pimp. I don't know why he was listed in some of the main cast, because he really didn't take a lot of a part. But it was nice to remember that he was young before Blue Thunder, and a few other things that he was pretty worthwhile in. I actually only made it about an hour into the movie. I just stopped caring. I wasn't invested in the main murder plot. I wasn't invested in whoever the killer could be. I just didn't care. So it should be noted that Jane Fonda did win an Academy Award for this film for Best Actress. It was actually nominated for Best Screenplay as well, and the director is pretty well renowned. And as noted, this was a film with a very high Rotten Tomatoes, very high Metacritic. It just, it just didn't work for me. It's not even a question of thumbs up or thumbs down. I didn't even bother finishing it because I didn't care that much. And it takes a lot for me to not care enough to finish a movie. So, with that, we'll go ahead and call it good. Hope you folks have a great afternoon/evening, and we'll see when I manage to put another one of these together.